and Jonesy know what it's all about. From burnouts and doubts to boundaries that stick, we're right here with you through thick and thick. Do what you want because you're grown. You don't need to hustle all on your own. With that voice in your ear when it all goes whack, take a deep breath, we got your back.
We got this.
We're recording.
We are recording.
We're starting.
Okay. We're starting. Yeah.
All right. We are jumping into another riveting episode of Minding Our Business. And we have a guest today. And Dan, you may introduce her since you know most about her business.
Since we go back so long.
Yes.
2 years as this episode
just
drops.
About, yeah.
It feels like longer, but also it's like we've done a time warp since then.
It has been quite the journey.
So I'm really dragging this out. This is Mihika Patel of One Mighty Mama. Wow, this is going to be so cool because this is an episode where, like, I'm sitting here with my co-host and our guest who bring, parenthood, motherhood into entrepreneurship. Something I know, I shouldn't say I don't know about it, but it's something I have not experienced. Certainly not motherhood, and not parenthood. Definitely not motherhood, certainly not parenthood. So I mean, we're going to let you tell your story, but it comes from corporate life into transitioning into becoming so many things. A champion for change, empowerment, a coach, a motivational speaker, a community leader, all these things. So I guess we're by the end of the episode, we're going to have to boil it down to what is one title we can call you.
Okay. Ooh, I'll think about that.
Mompreneur.
Mompreneur.
Mompreneur. There we go.
We already got
Mompreneur.
it.
Yes. I like it.
So we'll let you tell your Batwoman origin story at this point.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, funny question before we get started. Which of these multiple cameras am I supposed to be looking at?
Don't matter.
Straight ahead.
Okay.
That
apparently.
one?
Oh, it
Or
doesn't
that
matter.
one?
Yeah.
That one. Okay. Just so I know where to
Well, it
look.
depends. Do you want to do like the news anchor thing? And by the way, we're recording all this because this is what
This is
people
just
want.
gonna be
People
fun,
want
yeah.
authenticity. You know, when they're like, we're telling breaking news today. So then, here's what happened next.
Okay.
Back to you, Mihika.
And I can go like this, though.
I would say straight ahead. We do look at each other.
Right.
Look at the audience if you want to talk to the
Exactly.
audience.
I wanted to be talking to the
Yeah,
audience. I want to talk directly
You don't talk to anyone.
the
Yourself,
people.
the audience.
Yeah. Hey, I do enough talking to myself. I did a lot just on my way here. But so my Batman origin stories, if you will, and I don't want to get too stereotypical and call myself Wonder Woman or anything. But my origin story, my Mighty Mama origin story, we'll leave it at that, is simply this. It came from a place of grief. And this is not a story that I've always been comfortable telling. Usually it would bring me to tears and I have to like excuse myself and recompose myself. But I think with time, like anything else, you get more comfortable with doing the hard things. And this is one of those things. So in 2020, I lost my mom, and she was the OG Mighty Mama, right? The inspiration for me, helping me become my own version of a Mighty Mama, and now helping me raise the next generation to one day become Mighty Mamas themselves. I have a 14-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old son, and for me it's really important that they imbibe a lot of these qualities. And so the lesson was this, is that every time I have a 16-year career in internal audit, and every time I changed jobs, which was every couple of years, my mom would be like, really? Again? You got another corporate job? And I was like, Mom, like, you don't know what you're talking about, right? Like, this is just what we do, right? This is the prescribed path that society tells you got to follow, right? You go to college, you get the degree, you start the job, and then you do it for 40 years or so until you're ready to retire. And then you get to have fun.
And then hopefully you have enough money to have fun.
Yes, exactly. Hopefully you worked hard enough.
Was Mom an entrepreneur?
She was an entrepreneur. Her and my dad were entrepreneurs, and even that was like their own journey to get to that point. But she was a true like pioneer. I mean, coming to America with me as a 1-year-old when she's in her early 30s and basically restarting everything, right? Like working, she's well educated in India, but here those degrees are not recognized. So
And just the culture shock.
And culture, I mean, this is completely, ignoring the culture shock, right? Like everything else about it was so difficult, but the culture shock, like thankfully we lived with family who had been here for a few years. They could kind of soften the blow a little bit from the cultural shock perspective, but there wasn't a whole lot of softening in terms of like, okay, well, this is the struggle, right? Like, and part of that struggle was you got to go to work to make money. You got to leave your daughter behind. And then a couple of years later, my brother joined the family, and it was hard. It was really difficult for them. And the way my mom and dad kind of figured out that juggle was she would work nights, he would work daytime, so that someone was always home at any given time, right? And especially with my brother was a little accident prone, which I'm sure if he's listening to this will be like, what you talking about? But, I was the angel and he was the accident prone child. But lots of phone calls from elementary school saying, can you come pick him up because he seemed to hurt this, that, or the other. So my parents quickly learned somebody's always got to be home. And, but it was just struggles that they went through, right? It was the struggles they went through to kind of make ends meet. And through all of that, she just showed up like every single day as the mightiest version of herself. At age 50, or in her early 50s, she went back to school and got a degree in pharmacy to become a pharmacy technician.
Holy.
So I mean, like learning all these terms that like she used to know but hadn't really thought about in so long. And again, times change. The country was different. So all of these different things, and then from there, for her and my dad to start their own business. And they built up 2 businesses from nothing and were really successful. And they worked hard enough at it that when they were able to sell them, then they could kind of enter that stage where like, we're retired and now we can start enjoying life. And unfortunately, they weren't too far into that. Didn't get too many years to really enjoy it together before we lost her. But for me, it was that nudge that I needed to say, okay, you know what? I feel like all of her strength kind of came into me, and I felt like now is the time for me to make that jump and for me to try my hand at the entrepreneurial world and see what it's all about. Because for her, it was like, this is the true way to find that balance between progressing professionally and personally and keeping your family intact, right? Like being there for the kids. And it has truly been one of the best blessings, because I can say, without a doubt, I'm there for 99% of the games, the soccer games, the tournaments, the practices. I mean, you name it, concerts, lessons, all that stuff.
That's the important stuff.
It's the
I
important
always say
stuff.
how blessed I feel that I can be flexible and I don't have somebody like telling me what to do. So I can volunteer, I can be homeroom mom, I can do all these things that unfortunately parents cannot do.
And I get it. It's a privileged position, right? Like, I by no means do I discount that at all. Like, I am very, very lucky, and I'm very grateful to be in a position where I can do this. But I mean, it's come with a lot of hard-won lessons.
Oh yeah,
hard-won lessons. I mean, the one we were just talking about was stepping out of your comfort zone.
Yeah,
that one's been a tough one.
Every day, that's a challenge for me.
It's a tough one, and
that's why I just stay home. I'm just kidding.
Hence the velour suit.
Yes, I'm wearing a sweatsuit today because, like me, I didn't check my schedule, and I didn't know. Well, then again, I'd probably wear this anyway. I'm just making an excuse for
and
nothing.
you're clearly the most comfortable out of the 3 of us, because I wish I were wearing a sweatsuit.
I got the Uggs. This is a comfy place.
Yes.
Before you keep going, I want you to not forget to say what your business is, because I think what you're doing is tying into what your business is, and I don't want people to miss that.
Yes. So all of this to say, I finally took the plunge and I started my own business, and it is called One Mighty Mama, because it is an homage to my mother, who was the OG Mighty Mama. She raised me to be a Mighty Mama, and now I am raising my daughter and my son to kind of follow along. And that is also the transformation that I help my clients get, to find and kind of unlock that mightiness that's within them. And I think many times when we think of mightiness, we think of like physical strength, right? We think of like Wonder Woman or Superman, and we think, oh, look at my muscles, look how strong I am. And I'm like, I always say that's a part of it, but that's not really the point. The point isn't physical strength. The point is mental strength, to have that grit. I mean, I'm reminded of just this morning, the alarm goes off at 5 o'clock and I'm like, I don't want to go to the gym. And I was like, you know what? I don't have to go to the gym, but I do need to get up and put on my workout clothes. And, once you do even that much, then you're like, well, I might as well just go to the gym at this point. So it's like, you have to retrain your mind to kind of almost trick yourself into doing some of these things in the beginning. And once they become habit, the habit kicks in to high gear when you start seeing the results. When you're like, I just feel so much better having done that work.
And
I'm
also,
not,
when you miss a chance of doing it, you're like, you feel
yes.
you feel weird. You're like, because I tell people, I don't want to hear any excuses about the gym because I do not want to go to the gym. Sometimes when I'm driving there, I wish somebody would rear end me. That's how much I don't want to go. So I'll like go on Instagram to motivate people. I'm like, I don't want to go, but I'm doing
Here
it.
I am.
So whenever I walk into the gym and I make it there, like, you know when you're starting to like run on the treadmill or something, and, like, I'll still in my mind, like, I do not want to do this. I do not want to do this. But then like you start to get to that point where you've already been running for 2 minutes, and if you stop, you're like, oh my God, that 2 minutes is a waste. Let me keep going. But no, I kind of agree that habit, once you create it, it's a killer once
It's a killer
once you stop.
Yeah, and then you end up regretting. You're like, oh, I wish I'd just gone. And that happened to me earlier this week where I missed my workout. Somehow I convinced myself in my head that I didn't have to leave till 6 a.m. And of course, it was a completely irrational thought because my class starts at 5:45. So obviously,
the math is not mathing.
No, it was not mathing on a Monday morning. And then I was kicking myself in the butt because I kept thinking, oh, I'll just do it later. But we all know later never happens.
Yeah.
So it's like if you don't, capture that enthusiasm, that motivation in that moment, then the moment is gone.
Reckon. It's very inspirational. I see your post all the time about your workouts and stuff like that, and I'm like, man, I don't really do much of that anymore. My schedule has changed in that I play a lot of hockey now, and
there you
those
go,
are
and that's
usually
your
at nighttime.
exercise, yeah.
It was counterintuitive to me for a while, where I was the same way. Like I had to do it in the morning, and my thing was I didn't love going to the gym either, but I tricked myself, as we say, into I love having worked out. I don't like to work out, but I love having worked out.
Okay,
so let's just reframe that future state.
Yes.
And use that future state as motivation to do this right now.
Yep.
Oh man, it worked for years. I got shredded. And then I found hockey again, which is all sorts of weird times. And it presents a whole new set of challenges, which I'm kind of figuring out still, which is I do need to sleep more. So,
Yeah.
I should
games are really late.
Oh, are they? Okay, okay.
They're like Sunday nights at 10 p.m. So,
Yeah,
when I
that
see...
is nuts.
Start at 10
When
p.m.? Oh, that's very late. Okay.
I see Mihika's story when I'm getting up at 7 a.m. to be late for work at home downstairs for couch and dog time. I shouldn't feel bad. I'm happy for you. I love what you're doing, but I have to not compare myself to that.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Do not fall into that comparison trap. Oh, that is the worst trap to fall into. I always tell people, the only person you should be comparing yourself is who you were yesterday. That's
And
it.
there's that future state again.
Yep, that's it.
So how did you make we know the trigger point, we know the transition. Did you do the burn the boats thing and dive head into entrepreneurship, or did you start planting the seeds while you were still employed? What is that process?
No,
look
it was
like?
definitely a burn the boat
Yeah.
because I had
I
no
love
idea what I was doing. I resigned from my job. Maybe it was in the new year. So my mom, she passed, it was June of 2020. So this was like January, February of 2021 that I resigned. And I asked my husband, I'm like, what do I do with myself now? Because we didn't really have a plan. The only plan that we knew was that I could no longer be working in that job. Mm-hmm. So the plan could have looked like a lot of things. It could have been like, take a break and start the job search again in a few weeks or a few months. Or take a break and just chill. Just be with yourself, be with your thoughts, grieve, journal, reflect, all those good things. I don't think it was really in the cards to grieve and then start a business. That really wasn't part of the plan. And I kind of stumbled into it. I spent 4 weeks.
The stepping stone from the grief. That's like, how am I going to get out of this? And the only way for you to do it was to do something to honor your mom.
Yes, exactly. But I didn't have, because I didn't give myself that time to think. And that's why I think being present and the beauty of reflection, right? Giving yourself that gift of time is so key. And it sounds so cliche, I get it, because when I was in that stage, I was like, time. I was like, I've got all the time in the world. But look, here I am doom scrolling on my phone. Clearly I had time. But it's how you're using that time. And when I finally was able to kind of clear my mind, get my sleep schedule back on track, right? I can't say I was working out much then, but giving myself that gift of time and really stop and think, letting myself hear the voices in my head and what they were telling me. And they were telling me that I should start something up on social media. And I'm the girl who had nothing going on social media. In fact, I think my latest picture on my private Instagram account was of my daughter. And my friends would be like, oh, like, how cute is she? Like, she must be crawling now. And I was like, yeah, that's like 8 years old.
She's driving
Yes.
me. Yeah.
exactly. It was a picture of her as an infant, and that was the last picture I posted. So I was not the avid poster that I am now. And even now, you could probably attest, I rarely post pictures of the kids, of my husband. Like, me,
It's pretty
I'm
personal
fair
branded
game.
focused. Yeah.
I'm fair game, but anything else around me, I'll talk about them. I will share stories, anecdotes, places we go together, but will they show up on my feed? No. And that's just, a personal choice that I've made. But it all goes to show, like, it's just, none of this was, I stumbled into it.
Yeah.
And I feel like, as intentionally as I do a lot of things nowadays, I feel like other parts of my business, I'm still just learning, and I'm like stumbling as I go.
Intentionally, I would say.
With some intention, yes. But certain parts, I feel like I don't quite know where I'm going with this, but I'm just gonna take one step at a time, see where it goes, kind of feel it out, and we'll go from there.
Now, would you consider your coaching like part of like a life coaching, wellness coaching type thing? So like, you said your social media, like what would I see if I went to your social media? Like, I'm a woman and I'm like, I'm looking for something. If I typed in Google, would I be typing mental health coach? What would I be typing to find you and what you're gonna help me with?
I think you would type in something along the lines of mindset coach or like systems coaching. So my background from my corporate life is as an internal auditor. And that job was focused a lot on process efficiencies, building systems. And it's something that I do in my day-to-day life. I was actually thinking about it on my way over here that I'm kind of known for taking lots of shortcuts. And I'm like, you can look at that as a negative thing. Like, okay,
I don't think so.
As long as you're
I'm opinionated about that.
This is what got me thinking about it, that the shortcuts aren't so bad because I'm always on a quest to be more efficient.
Yes.
And sometimes those shortcuts truly end up
without compromising integrity and value.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Many times the shortcuts will compromise integrity, and so you're like, okay, well, that's a shortcut I don't want to take again. But other times you're like, okay, well, I got here quicker and I didn't compromise anything, so maybe this is something I should just implement as part of my normal process. And so I'm always on the hunt for all sorts of little things, right? Whether it's like for me, like personally, professionally, at home, with my cooking, with the kids, whatever it is. And so I'm like, this is the type of lens I should employ for my clients. Like, what can they do to be more efficient? And this is kind of where the idea of the first 10 was born, where the coaching that I do is not, it's not super centered on like wellness in this, because I feel like wellness is such a wide landscape. I mean, you could be talking about almost anything under the sun.
Oh, there's multiple pillars. You got spiritual wellness, mental wellness, physical wellness.
So many.
That's it.
Yep.
Oh, wait, all those pillars.
Yes, so many different things.
Experts.
And
I could tell you couldn't find another one, so I was like, that's it.
See, it's like you're in each other's heads. But so wellness is a part of it, but it has to come from a systematic perspective, because for me it's all about action and what you can do to make the bottom line the bottom line meaning like the level of energy that you're putting into things. How can you get the most bang for your buck? How can you be most efficient? And so for me, it was all about what can I help you in my coaching that's going to help your day-to-day actions that you can start implementing today. And so that's where these systems came about. So I'm like, I already have that lens. Why don't I apply it here? I've helped dozens of clients over my corporate career, and now it was time to bring it to like personal clients. And the lens is just, it's so much fun. So with the first 10, it's all about reclaiming that power in the morning. So the first 10 is your first 10 minutes of your day. And it has a lot to do with, if you don't start your day with intention, like if you are not in that proactive mode, you are going to end up reacting to something or someone else the rest of the day. So you have to start your day with intention. And I mean, I can dig into it a little bit more with you guys, but it really is about reclaiming that power, because when you don't, you end up being in that reactive position all day long, and it really sets you up for kind of being that feeling, right? What that feeling that a lot of people experience in the morning is like being behind the 8 ball, right? Like you're reacting to like, oh, the alarm rings and you're like jarred awake, and then you're like, oh, I have to, get the kids ready for school. I have to get myself ready for school. I have to gather up my work bag. I have to go exercise. I don't know where this, that, and the other thing is. And you're very frazzled. And that feeling tends to stay with you. Right now, we're kind of living through an epidemic of a different variety, which is burnout, mental health epidemic, right? Yeah. And this is one of those things that really starts planting the seeds for it. All of these small changes, like, that quote that we were looking at up here with success, it says the predictable result of hard work, patience, sacrifice, learning, putting into practice every day, that can work positively and negatively. Yeah. Right? If you are, the lack of the hard work, the patience, all of those things, those kind of create that downward spiral in your life. And that's what leads to burnout, leads to overwhelm, leads to those mental health struggles that so many people are facing. But how you can undo that is put that positive spin in. And by no means is the first 10 like the magic pill, right? Like, oh, let's start implementing it and you'll feel better by the next day. No.
You might, but...
You might, but it's not going to solve all of your problems, right? Like, this is the beginning. This is where, you do it tomorrow, then you do it the day after, then you do it on Monday, Tuesday, and do it consistently over a long period of time, and then you'll start seeing the benefits.
So, intent. Tell me a little bit more about intent. When you say you got to get up and face the day with intent, does that mean an actionable goal, a state of being? What are we looking at here?
It's a little bit of all of it. So, there's 3 components to it. The first one is mind. So, with mind, it's you're taking a couple deep breaths, right? You're kind of grounding yourself. A lot of people talk about like feet on the ground, right?
Yes.
Like socks off, no shoes, feet on the ground. I mean, obviously you wouldn't have shoes on when you're coming out of bed. Or maybe you do, I don't know. But
depends on the night.
Whatever you got going on. But feet on the ground, take a couple deep breaths, and think about what you're grateful for. And this is key. And I always like to share that gratefulness is kind of tricky because, there's those journals, they have, some of them have prompts, some of them just have like a single line for every day. So it kind of forces you to be very succinct and pick one thing that you are grateful for. And here's where I see a lot of people stumble. They think big when it comes to what they're grateful for. When it can be simple.
I'm grateful that I can hear leaves crunch beneath my feet.
Exactly. But we think big, right? We think, I am so grateful for my health. I am so grateful for my business. I am so grateful for my family. I'm so grateful for my kids. And by the time you hit day 7, you're like, what the heck else am I grateful for? And then you're like, I am grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my business. And then you start the cycle again. And then before you know it, by day 10, you're like, well, this is ridiculous.
I don't care about any
I'm
of
not
this.
doing this. Yeah, because you can't think of any other big things because we are thinking too big. But we've got to think about the
Small
sound
things.
of the leaves crunching under my feet.
The grounding.
Grounding.
So I think a lot.
Think micro.
So I was walking on the canal one day and I was driving myself nuts with just thinking. So then I started focusing on my feet and hearing, like, I'm saying to myself, okay, I'm hearing my feet on the canal right now, like, because it's like a little bit like the rocky. Mm-hmm. Then I'm like looking up, saying what I see, like just trying to like distract myself, being like, this is a walk. I'm not thinking about anything besides these leaves and this ground. Can I do that all the time? No, but it's the effort.
Great exercise of being present, right?
It's the awareness, knowing that I had to do it.
Yes.
So.
And that's key, right? Like thinking about small things that you're grateful for. And when you do that practice day over day over day, it's a concept I like to call gratitude hunting, where you are actively on the hunt for things to be grateful for. Because and you're not going to notice it on day 1, you may not notice it on day 5, but maybe by day 30, day 40, you'll actively, without even thinking about it, be thinking all day long, what am I going to write tomorrow morning? Because I want to show that I'm grateful, but I'm like actively looking for things like, oh, look at that beautiful flower that finally bloomed in my garden.
You know the ones like health and stuff? Like I feel like that goes without saying that you're grateful for those.
Oh, yeah.
That's why it's more finding things that people wouldn't necessarily be grateful for. Like I'm grateful for rainstorms. I love rain. I love sitting on the back of the thing and I'm grateful every time I'm back there because I feel like it's like heavenly.
It is.
Do you ever feel like sitting on your back porch is just raining and you're like, wow, everyone hates rain, but this is beautiful.
Oh
it just feels good.
Yes.
Clouds,
100%.
People do not look up. People don't look up. It is, look at the sky today. look at the clouds. People do not look up, and sometimes I'll look up and I'll go on Instagram and be like, look up. Like, the sky is so
Simple as
beautiful.
that.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's so beautiful.
Do you try to find shapes in the clouds and stuff?
I was just about to
No,
ask.
I don't. I literally just look at the clouds being like, we're always chasing. So over here off the canal, we're in Yardley Barrow, people, you can take a bridge over to Jersey to get on their canal. On the way over there, there's these beautiful overlooks, like, that are just so nice.
Ooh.
We're always chasing to go somewhere else for beauty. It is right here. It's in front of us.
Right in front of you.
This river, this view, sure, I could go to Europe and find it, but it's right here because we're never being grateful or appreciating things that are right in front of our face. Try that.
That is so
Try
true.
that walk. It's very nice.
I was like, you're gonna have to show me
Yeah.
how to get onto that canal because that's what I want to do. But it's all about those small things,
Yeah.
right? And it's like when you get into that habit of actively looking for it, it changes your outlook. It changes your outlook because now you are purposely, even if something bad has happened, you're gonna think, well, what's the silver lining here, right? What is the one good thing that did come out of this?
So that's the stumbling with intent, for damn sure. Because now you've got this open mind, this new mindset. You're being opportunistic.
Yes,
Is what it is.
Absolutely. And it's such a good habit to instill in yourself because you're training yourself to see the good.
Yeah.
There's so much negativity in the world, right? I mean, we can probably rattle off like 10 without even thinking too hard about it. Yeah. But the key is to really stop and think, what is the good in the world? And that's something we don't stop enough to think about, right? Like we actually have to actively stop and be like, what are, I can hardly come up with 3. But we really need to get into that habit of looking for the positive. And when we do that, so that's one part of the mind, right? The 3 components of the first 10, that's the mind part. The focus, or the body part, that's the second one. With body is just getting the blood flowing into your body, right? 8 hours, hopefully 8 hours of sleep. And when you get up, things are kind of crunchy. And so you just kind of, do a little stretching, do a little twisting. I have carpal tunnel in my hands. So I kind of stretch out my hands a little bit, get the blood flowing, drink some water, and do some light stretching. Just for a few minutes. It's honestly not much. And the last part, and this one's my favorite one, is the focus part. This is where you stop and you just think for a minute, what is coming down the pipeline today? Right? For me, it was I get to hang out with you guys and record this podcast. And that's a really fun thing for me to do. Especially if I get to hang out with Dan. And
This is our
Jess.
job. We're at work right now.
Yes.
How cool is that?
I just met Jess today. We're going to be BFFs.
Besties for the resties.
Yes. But that's like a fun thing that I knew was coming that was part of my schedule today. And I was like, I'm really excited about that. And then, so think about what your priorities are for the day. And then come up with a power word. What is a word that is going to describe how you're going to show up today? So any number of words can come to mind for, this type of a setting. Energetic. Right?
The only thing coming to my mind is bad bitch. I'll try and zone that in a little bit better.
Internalize.
Yes. Whatever that word is, but be intentional about it, right? Like be intentional and have that be your anchor word for the day. So, because anytime during the day, something's going to happen, it's going to kind of trip you up and, anything could happen between now, right now it's 11:55, but I could have, maybe a bad email that comes through or someone, unhappy client. Any number of things can happen, or just an argument with my husband or, a bad interaction with one of the kids that can kind of throw you off. And then you're like, well, I'm not feeling so energetic after all. Or maybe my word is to be positive or to be powerful. But anything can kind of topple you. But if you kind of hold on to that word, and the word doesn't have to be different every day, but I would just change it depending on what's going on. Mm-hmm. So for instance, tomorrow is a big day where I'll just be hanging out with the kids and with my husband. And so my word for tomorrow and for days that are similar to that are to be present. That's all I want to focus on is to be present. So that means keep the devices away. I don't need to be checking my emails or my LinkedIn or my Instagram and who's commenting and who's liking and who's following and any of that nonsense. I want to think about what's going on right here in the here and now in front of me. So choose that word, and when you feel a little rattled throughout the day, hold on to that word. Think about that word and recenter yourself. And so all of these things just happened in the first 10 minutes. And you could truncate it even further, right? You could turn it into a 6-minute, but give yourself that gift of time, right? The whole idea is to give yourself that gift of time so that you can lead your day with intention. And many times you're like, well, I don't know what's coming down the pipeline today. And so then your word could be something like curiosity, right? Like it could be like, hey, I have kind of an open day. I will go where the wind takes me kind of day. And we all have those, and those are necessary too. But come at it from a place of curiosity. Come at it from a place of gratitude. Like, I'm lucky that not every single day is regimented, or I don't have to be in a certain place. I could, ease myself into the day, as opposed to like, I gotta be somewhere at 8 a.m. So, I gotta get the kids in the bus and get myself ready and get out the door and, all these other things. And pray that the traffic gods are, blessing me with the...
They're not.
They're not.
It's always the other team.
Yes.
Good thing I don't leave my square mile now.
Yeah.
I work from home.
I really like the word present, and I think that's going to be my word, because like present's very tough for me. Thinking about what happened yesterday, the future, which is why I need to listen to my feet when I walk, apparently. So I'm going to use present. So a word that I have done, because I have like these flashcards that I'll try and read, like not every day, but when I'm in it, a big word for me was assertive. And it was being assertive in a way where I'm not coming off aggressive. And because it's a very hard skill for me.
It's a line, yeah.
So
Then I have a book you're gonna love to read.
yeah,
You're definitely
right.
gonna
Share
love
it
to
with
read
the
this.
class.
Yes,
Share it
yes.
with
So
the
this is a
people.
book that is called Likeable Badass, and in it, yep, I knew you would
Okay.
love
that's
it.
the book for me.
I knew you would love it. I'm gonna butcher her last name, but it's by the author. Her name is Alison Fragile, and Alison, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that.
Fragile.
Fra-
It's Italian.
There we go. But Likeable Badass, and what she talks about is exactly this, because she talks about the combination, and she has this little quadrant that she set up on being cold versus warm and being submissive versus assertive. And the combination that you want to go for is warm and assertive.
Yes.
So you are assertive, but without coming off as a bitch.
Yes.
And so you want to be warm. But how, they almost seem like opposite ends of the spectrum. Like, how do you find
Bridge
a
that gap.
crossover? But I was just reading it earlier this week, and something she talked about that women especially are not very good at doing is the humble brag. To just be vulnerable, right? When we talk about vulnerability, we talk about we think that means sharing our weaknesses or sharing things that we're not good at. But the humble brag is, talking about things that your successes. We don't talk enough about that. And we certainly don't talk about them openly in a forum like social media, right? It may be a one-on-one conversation, here's a recent win that I had, but never in because we always think this is, just me tooting my own horn, and, that's not a good look, Mihika. But depending on how you word it, it can be just what you need. So the humble brag is a good one. She talks about a lot of different strategies that
All right, I'm gonna check this
all
out.
about
Yeah.
how to strike that balance.
All right.
We're going to tag that in the show notes.
Yes.
My word of the day, after all this, is going to be awesome. Because
I love
like
it,
the
I
Lego
love it.
movie, everything is awesome, and
Yes.
when you're open-minded and you're intentionally looking for something to be grateful for, everything is truly
It's
awesome.
awesome. Yes.
Thank you for this today. Thank you
Yeah,
for this
thank
gift.
you. This was a great conversation.
It was fun.
Now,
Yes.
let's put your physical prowess to test.
Oh,
we have a
no,
show in a
no.
specific way.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, I
Guess-
did not hear about
Guess
this
who started
beforehand.
it? You have to raise your leg like
We
that.
just kick. We
Leg
kick towards the
raise.
camera.
What? Oh my gosh. Guys, I'm going to topple your table. There we go.
There it is.
Oh,
All right.
oh, that was a good stretch
And
for me
scene.
too. We're grounded.
You're doing your best, and some days it's a mess, but you're showing up still, so we're very impressed. Feeling the pressure